Except for now, I can't see where I am on the screen or to understand. I don't like that. I don't like it.
Well, change it because I think as long as you're in the side-by-side speaker view, then we're
Oh wait,
fine.
there it is. I see it. I had to open up. Okay, so Katie's making me do this new thing because apparently on the recordings it doesn't, things don't change, but I had to open up a different dialog box to get this figured out. You would think I do this professionally, but it is what it is. So, good morning, my friends. We want to start off here, which I'm actually really glad that our friend Ashley is coming into the screen because what we want to do
Mm.
is make sure that we give an opportunity for celebrations today. Celebrations, right there, the word. Um, so I'm curious what you guys are celebrating today. And I'm going to tell you that I did something that my family and Reagan, who is 12 but feels like she's like 16 sassy right now, the amount of conversations we're having in our house about how she needs a phone and how summer is going to end her life because she can't hang out with her friends. It's going to be a wild experience this day at my house. Anyway, she's calling it my midlife crisis. You can't see it, but outside, I finally, after 4 years of searching, found a Jeep Wrangler that I have been dying to have. Um, and I finally found one thanks to our friends on Facebook Marketplace. So Brandon is celebrating the pure fact that I now in my possession have a summer car, which is a 94 Jeep Wrangler YJ. The reason I wanted the 94, in case people are wondering, I think the square headlights are sexy. Second of all, it was before they put airbags in them, right? And so they're completely customizable, which is fantastic. So I found a summer car that originally came from Arizona. So there's no rust on it at this point in time, and it's only been driven in the winter. And the guy Brad, who is in sales in DL in Detroit Lakes, it was where I bought it from. Which is so fun when you buy something from a sales guy, like or a salesperson. Like I don't know if you just have a different dialogue, but I just like immediately fell in love with him. I don't know why. Anyway, we had a great experience. He literally pulled it out of the garage, and Abby drove with me in case we had to drive him back. And I looked at her, and she goes, "You're gonna buy that?" And I said, "Oh, 1,000,000% am I gonna buy that thing?" So now I have my summer car that's out there. If you come to Alec, you'll probably see me drive it, but because it's only the four cylinder, she kind of tops out at about 55, 60 miles an hour. So it won't be going too far down the road, which is fine, right? Maybe PR. I might bring it to PR because that's a pretty drive, and that you can putz on 71. But anyway, I digress. There's my midlife crisis, as Reagan calls it, and the celebration of which I am currently in. So that's kind of my fun news. What about you guys?
Mm.
Somebody's got to have something.
Anybody? I'm excited my little magazine came out for Impact of Women or whatever.
Yes, you are,
Yeah, it was fun. Fun opportunity.
which is very, very exciting. Wow, everybody's like, no, there's very few on camera today too. Okay. Um, which is totally fine. But here's the deal. So we
Oh,
are going to do a
jeez.
special call out. Yeah, well,
You
it's
didn't
your
have to
fault.
do
You brought it
that.
up, right? But this was a cool thing that happened.
Jesus,
Um,
Moses.
you started it. I'm just here for it, right? So our friend Ashley, which right over here, this one, right? She ended up being featured inside of an inaugural issue of Women of Impact. I gotta get out of the way. In this magazine, which I thought was really cool, and is a really neat space to be. So we're really proud of you, and we wanted to make sure that we called it out, which I think is fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Um, I'm going to call out Joy just for the record because I saw Joy. She shared with me a couple of things that she did, not only at, I think it was a pancake feed, but then also a little library. And this
Oh,
little library, her and her son made, she did it in blue. And I was so thrilled that it was, right on brand for her. And I was tickled pink. So I just wanted to say, well done, inside of that space. So all the fun things. All right. Well, we're
and
going to move
happy
forward.
birthday. Yeah, happy birthday to Joy too, wasn't it?
It
Mhm.
was.
Yeah.
Yesterday, which I
Yesterday.
got in. It was a busy day, but I got in just in time to make sure I said happy birthday. But so happy birthday, Joy. Yesterday, to Neil coming up in a couple days. Bobbert up in Park Rapids, Mitch in Crosby, James in Park Rapids. Oh, it's a busy month. Holy moly.
Mhm.
Faith, I saw her somewhere. Also not on camera. Weird how that goes. And then Brian Wickman as well, also in PR. So holy buckets, we got a busy month here. But happy birthday to
Mhm.
everybody. Another thing we want to make sure that we celebrate, we got lots of fun stuff to do today. Um, the component. Oh, Keegan, I saw in the chat. We should make sure too. And I don't know if we've addressed this, by the way.
Well, yeah, we might not have. That was a while ago. It was so
Okay, so
long
Keegan,
ago.
it was May that we were allowed to share, and so this is worthy to share too.
That's fair.
I'm gonna go back if I can.
It's all
It's
good. I already shared it. It's all good.
no, too late. It's worthy of a celebration again, so we're gonna do it. But
No.
so there are two components of the best that came out from our Park Rapids office. Not only did the entire team win for the best of the best when it comes to the real estate office serving the community there. So whoop whoop. Not only did they rock star that thing, but our very own Keegan Curtis ended up coming in as the best of the best as a real estate agent in the Park Rapids office. And so an incredible feat. And while Keegan very, slyly slid it into the chat, I'm going to make sure that we call it out too. And so very, very, it's amazing, right? To see the impact that Keegan has, the office has, like just to see that impact and compound and then be recognized by the community is such an amazing space to be. So well done to any of our PR agents, and a special shout out to Miss Keegan for continuing to do great things. So well done. And I appreciate you putting it in the chat because that's not really something Keegan doesn't really like us to talk about how awesome she is. So I'll gladly do it every day, all day. Okay. Happy birthdays. Now, some of you maybe have noticed some new signs in your yard, a new yard ornament, if you will. So this year we ended up as a special little, I don't know, bonus, I guess, if you will. We ended up wanting to celebrate kind of some crown-worthy components. So this follows our Coldwell Banker award status as well. And then basically we look at it and we said, hey, anybody who's done 5 million in sales, was a Coldwell Banker award winner, or grew their business by 150%, was worthy of an additional piece of recognition. And so these were just little signs that we ended up placing, if I can get my words right, placing outside for the agents in order to be recognized. So far, my kids think it's really funny to use it as a soccer goal. That's the fun thing. And hopefully you all are doing great things. I did hear somebody once tell me that they had an animal attack it. So that was kind of fun. Welcome to living in northern Minnesota. So we have great things to say about that. So just a special way to say congratulations and for us to brag on you. Please leave it in your yard, because if you're not going to tell people in your neighborhood that you are an agent, we're going to for you. Again, don't be a secret agent. It's just that crazy. Can we all just recognize, if you can't see Christine, she's like sitting out by her camper and I know she's at the lake. Jerk. Okay. If you're the only one I wish was not on camera at this point, yeah, rub it in. Sunshine. Okay.
Do you want me to take it off?
No, I just was like,
I muted it because the animals are kind of really loud this morning. So I'm like, oh God, can they hear all the noise that's going on out here?
good grief. No, we're doing great. I love that you can do that. So,
yeah.
All right. I want to share a little bit with you today, just kind of on some, I don't know, some rough news, I guess you could say. Anybody read the Wall Street Journal? Yeah, good. You don't have to. Here's what I'm going to tell you, though. Recently, they came out with an article talking about how real estate agents are quitting the slow housing market. And it's true. And I've had a couple of conversations this last week, I guess, with other broker owners out there. And so I wanted to kind of walk through something today because really what's happening is that, this is the fourth year of a slow housing cycle, right? And when we talk about the cyclical nature of real estate, oftentimes it comes in years of 4, right? It's a 4-year cycle. And so this in theory, right? Economics and people a lot smarter than me would all suggest that this would be the last year that we should really see a slower paced market. We should start to see the bottom and start to rebound, hopefully, out of it next year. So the 4-year cycle of where we are is proving to be really difficult. The downside is that this also comes on the tail end of 2022. And for those of you around selling real estate in 2020 and 2022 and 2021, for that matter, anywhere, in those bookends, probably remember it being pretty good and probably remember it being really easy. Which when the market says that it's easy to sell and real estate agents and the housing markets are up, all of the indices were up, rates were down, like it was pure chaos in that season. I think what happens is a lot of us start to look at it, and of course the consumers do, and they say, "Oh, well, this was easy. I can get my license." It's my favorite thing when you talk to pre-licensing, right? And I always ask the question. I said, "How many of you are here because you had a bad experience with your agent, and you said, well, if they can do it, I can do it?" And almost everybody raises their hand. And it's because people so often think that they can actually become a realtor and actually be a real estate professional and continue to move forward. What the truth is that once they got through those couple of good years, now we're on the other end of the spectrum where we're starting to look at where we've come down, we should start to ramp up. But a lot of people can't hack it. I had a friend down in Texas recently tell me that they've counted. He's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they have counted 36 what they call indie brokerages, right? So individualized brokerages or boutiques have closed in the DFW area this year alone. So like first quarter, 36 of them have closed up and been absorbed into larger companies because the revenue is not there sustaining it inside of that space. So it's kind of one of those spots where we're all very aware, right? So the Wall Street Journal ran this thing that says, hey, in the fourth year of a struggling market, we're continuing to see people kind of come in this downward play, right? What's interesting about this is while this is a prolonged slump, right? We're now starting to see so NAR does a study that says they've basically they look at like what's the percentages of agents who say real estate is their sole income. And it may surprise you, right? But this last year, we lost about 200,000 members. 25 to 26 renewal rate at the national level dropped about 200,000 members. So we went from 1.6 million members down to 1.4. Okay, that's fine. Minnesota stayed relatively flat, by the way, just for some comparison. North Dakota stayed relatively flat, right? So really, we're looking at coastal, where we really saw the majority of those agents dip off. But in 2025, NAR does a survey that says how many agents rely solely on real estate for their income. Anybody want to guess what the number was?
10%.
52 or 25, Jay? 25. Okay. What'd you say, Regina? I'm sorry.
I said 10%.
10%. Okay.
I was going to go 5%.
That's so funny. 71% of agents now rely solely on real estate for income.
Really?
What?
Yeah. Okay. But now time out. Okay. This is the lowest marker that they've ever had. And they've been doing this survey since I think about 2005, right? Like how many of you rely solely on real estate for your income? Okay. So when they start to look at that, they say, well, 71% of the agents now say it. So that is the lowest that survey has ever reported since 2005 when they started doing this one. But what we also have to remember inside of that, okay, is that it's a sample data, right? So statistically speaking, it's probably pretty accurate. But I would like to argue that which of the agents are most likely to respond to a survey request from the National Association of Realtors? I don't think the person doing 1 or 2 deals a year is necessarily going to be that person. I could be wrong, but I just don't think it's that person. Okay, so then, so I think there's a data point there that's a little bit skewed and everything else and gucked up in that. But the idea that 71% is being the lowest, the number is irrelevant. What really matters to me is saying that it is the lowest data point since 2005 of the percentage of agents who say they rely on real estate as their sole income. Right. And I can tell, like, some of you in the room don't rely on real estate as your sole income. And I know that for a fact, right? Some of you do. And that's great. I do. As much as I try and actually, no, technically I take that back. My rental portfolio supplements my income, right? So like it's actually a majority, but nevertheless, it's a real estate activity, but it's not NAR specific to be really in the weeds with you. So I think you look at some of that and you say, okay, so we're seeing a slump of a market in a 4-year extended period. We're seeing the lowest number of agents who say they're relying on this. We're seeing 200,000 members leave the industry completely from year over year. There is a time where that pain point exists. What also is interesting is LOs, so loan officers, appraisers, photographers, inspectors is another big one. You're seeing a lot of them start to dip out of the market because there just isn't as much transactions. You see Lawrence Yun coming out saying 14% increase of year over year single family home sales. Well, then he came out and he modified it. In the first quarter, he modified it to say, actually, I'm only going to say 4% now, a 4% increase instead of 14, right? So there are all these indicators that kind of come into play. So what's also kind of interesting is this thing right here. Again, I like the number side of it, so you can tell me if you do or not. But so this is NAR numbers, right? Membership versus the number of home sales. You can see the well, hopefully you can see it. The top graph, right, is existing home sales. This one right here is the NAR membership number, and right here is our little tipping point. Okay. Also, one of the reasons why we started to find a lot of traction inside of that space. So when we start to look at the inverse, and now we've started to cross back over, but the market hasn't fully recovered, then we're starting to see some more of those issues. Now, this is also a fun one, which I don't know if anybody has seen this one yet. So the NAR agent count they said 1.3, was actually 1.6, so the numbers are off here, but this was a deal that came out and the 1.6 number comparative to the 1.3 is that they took out some outlier associations, which like Puerto Rico and some of the international numbers. So like in the continental US, if you will, there was about 1.3. So when we look at the national home sales and everything else here, we start to say what's wild to me is some of these statistics, right? And so you've probably heard these because they made their way around the real estate space, right? 71.1% of the agents did 0 deals in 2025. Okay, 14.9% did 1 to 4 deals. Which, if you start to look at those numbers, and if you want to add them up, you can. What's the percentage?
86.
Thank you. 86% of real estate agents did 4 or less deals. Okay. So you want to talk about the impact that you can have in a conversation, in a listing presentation, a buyer presentation. If you did over 4 deals, you are in the minority, the top 14% of real estate agents nationwide. Okay, so that's a pretty big gap inside of there in order to understand. Okay, and I think when you start really getting into that space, you know, that is a very small percentage on this upper level, let alone even just being in that upper end category, period. Right. So there is a lot to be said about a tough market, trying to claw your way through it, trying to fight your way through it, right? When the majority of real estate agents say they rely on, and I say majority, 71% according to NAR, it might be interesting to do our own internal study, but when the majority of people say, hey, this is my sole income, it makes me and some of my broker buddies, we're like, oh, okay, what does that look like? So I put together a little playbook for you, which I want to share with you today. So when we talk about what this looks like, right? So we're going to specifically say, I want you to think about this. Like, although it is hard, some of you are absolutely crushing it, right? I'll call out Jay. He and I were talking this morning, right? And likely, and Jay, you can correct me if I'm wrong, right? I think by next month, if everything closes, you've already hit your goal for the year. Is that right?
Well,
Yep.
exceed last year's production.
Exceeded last year's production. I appreciate the clarity, right? So like there is a way for you to continue to do phenomenal things. I was talking with Keegan the other day up in our Park Rapids office, and like the amount of new listings she has coming through the pipeline is wild, right? Neil, who in our SOC center, who's not on the call today, I don't think, but you know, another one that absolutely is continuing to pretty much just push through and dominate. Like everybody's going the extra mile. And when you do the extra effort, believe it or not, it works, right? Like this is not a this is a contact sport. This is a contact business. And here's how I want to talk to you a little bit about this today. And then I got a PDF with kind of a playbook that I'm going to give you at the end of this, so that you have it, right? But so what's an action plan for staying in the market, right? So the first thing I want to remind you is that this is a mindset shift, okay? The headlines are always going to be bad news because bad news sells, right? That's just the way it's going to be. So inside of that space, it's just going to be bad, right? So, but you can flip it and say the headline is bad, but the news behind it is actually pretty good because every agent who quits this week is a client relationship that becomes available. Okay. The pie didn't shrink. The line just got shorter, right? So on average, most people know an individual person in the US is going to know about 5 to 6 real estate agents. I'm not going to call them professionals. They're going to know 5 to 6 real estate people who are licensed to sell in a state. Now, one person leaves, that goes to 4 to 5, right? So like there is a big win there for you in order to get there. So your job isn't to wait for the market to recover, right? It's just so that you be present and consistent so that when it does, that you're the obvious choice. And that's the part that we get to talk about. So I got 3 things I kind of want to walk through you on this today. Number 1, I want you to work your database like it's your only asset, because it is. Okay. You can continue to do all of the marketing, you continue to do all the things, but at the end of the day, if you can't pick up the phone and call people in your database, how they get in there is a totally different methodology. That's a way different conversation than we're going to have today. But once they're in there, those are the people that you need to nurture and curate and love on, because that's what that looks like. So here's what this is. Here's my suggestion for you. Okay. I want you to pull your past client list this week. And if you don't know how to do that, we will gladly help you. Every single one of them. And I want you to consider calling 3 to 5 people per day, not to sell them, just to check in. Hey, I was thinking about you. How's the house? What are some updates you've done? It's landscaping season. Do you hate pulling weeds as much as I do? Because you could come do mine if you love them, right? Like there are lots of things that you can say that are not salesy. It's just deposits. Okay. I want you to specifically flag anybody that bought 3 to 5 years ago. Okay. They might be sitting on a ton of equity that they have no idea what to do with. They could be looking at pulling it out for debt reduction. They could be looking at pulling it out for an investment property. They could be looking it out for buying the cabin. And then you could send the referral to anybody else, and we would love to help them find a cabin somewhere else, right? There's a lot to do. And then last, I want you to set a calendar reminder for every client's home purchase on their anniversary, right? If you're not sending that note every year as a reminder, you should be doing so. And if you're like, Brandon, what am I going to send these people? It's really simple. You can send them just a card that says, hey, happy anniversary. Cheers to another year in that great home you purchased, right? It could be, hey, here's a quick CMA valuation, because likely on this anniversary, you're going to be looking at insurance renewals. You might be looking at portfolio management renewals. You got a lot of things that you might be considering. So a quick CMA, and oh, by the way, RPR has one. Coldwell Banker has one. On our website alone, we have one. So like there's lots of different valuations that you could use in order to generate that quick report. Okay. So the goal of this is just to be the first agent they think of, because the more you're in front of them, the more they're going to think about you before. And as I think I wrote down here, before they even know they need one, you're there in that top of mind awareness piece. So this is what I want you to think about. This is what step 1. This is all I want you to do, right? Work your database like it is your absolute only asset. Then I want you to be the most informed person in the room. And how do we do this? So what's great about a lot of our markets is that we have the opportunity to be a loud, consistent voice because nobody else is really willing to do it. Okay. So you can pick a market that you really like to work in. Okay. And essentially pick a stat per week and share it in plain English. Okay. Every month, Faith pushes out, the quick market stats for you to do as a social graphic for you to share. Thank you, Faith, for doing that, by the way. And it gives you lots of opportunities to do that. So that way, when you have the data points, you just talk about it. It's not like you're not trying to be, for crying out loud, you guys, our contracts are written at a 5th grade reading level. Right? Anything above 10th grade is considered too complex for the average American. Like, it's just wild to me how dumb we've gotten. So don't try to sound smart, because you don't need to. You just got to be you and be authentic, and life will be great, right? It's just that simple. So when clients ask, is now a good time to buy or sell? You got to have that answer ready, right? And this may sound dumb. Practice it out loud in the car. It's a really great way. I don't know about you. My car is not a smart car. It doesn't talk back to me, which is great. But I do tend to talk in my car an awful lot, right? And the good news is that we can do it. Oh, and by the way, if you really want to get fancy and you do like somebody talking back to you, use Remy. Have Remy turn on a voice control. Send him your quick little blurb. Here's what I think about the Sauk Centre market. Am I right? Am I wrong? What do you think? And watch how Remy will talk back to you and help you refine that process a little bit. My third bullet here is I want you to show up where your clients are. We are in a season where showing up is more important than anything. There's a reason I go get a coffee every day. There's a reason I go into banks for deposits. There's a reasons I try really hard not to use drive-throughs is because I want to be present. I want to be in those spaces. Go to your community events. Alexandria, I had a 9-year project to get a splash pad. I was one of the initial people to get that done. We just did a ribbon cutting last week on it, right? And we finally got it. As silly as that is, but we finally got it, right? And of course, I'm a big sucker for going to the soccer sidelines. It's grad party season. Go to every single one of them that you get invited to. Wear a shirt. You can be really casual about it. Wear a hat. You don't have a baseball cap with our logo on it. Come see me. I'll get you one, right? Presence in front of people is going to build trust a lot faster than any ad. Now, I'm not saying you can't build trust with ads. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying we are a contact sport and being present is going to be a big thing. So the goal here is being known as the person who understands what's going on in the market, not just someone with a license. Okay, third thing I want you to do. I want you to fix your systems because I promise you have broken ones. And just like Katie tells me all the time, I have broken ones too. Okay, so you can fix this, right? So slow markets, they hand you something busy markets never do. They hand you time and you need to use it. This is a great time to be talking about what does my process look like with clients? What is the intentionality behind them? What is that follow-up system? What is working? What isn't working? What is my nurture campaign for while clients are pending? What is my nurture campaign after they close? Write the follow-up email sequence. By the way, if you don't want to write it, we have something called Remy that could help you, right? It will understand your voice. It can help you draft documents. It can do all those things for you to create simple stay in touch rhythms. In fact, Remy could even say, here's a monthly email calendar and here's the content to which you should send. And if you don't have a system to send emails, then you need to talk to us because we do. We have Bay, we have Prospects where we have we have all the tools available to you to send email campaigns to your people, right? Quarterly call schedules, the annual check-ins, and then set up the systems and automate it out. The other thing too, for those of you who are not part of the listing lab, right, and the listing league is review that listing presentation. Does it still reflect who you are and what you offer? I know since the lawsuits, we've been looking at a lot of content that talks about compensation and what would that look like, right? So there's lots of ways to make sure that you're still presenting what you have the way that you want it for who you actually are. One of my favorite stories is we had an agent who recently affiliated with us, not quite, maybe a year, around a year, I'll say, right? And what's fun is I got to watch their average commission rate, their net effective rate, go from about 1.9 to 2%. To climb up to 2.8 within less than a year of being with us. And it simply became because we gave tools and services for them to actually remember and know their value, right? So it's a real easy way for you to look at this. Now, the other thing I want you to think about here is that when the volume returns, you have everything running and finely tuned. You're not scrambling trying to pick up the pieces because then that's when you burn out. That's when you have the issues. So remember, slow markets are fantastic. They hand you time and we want to be able to use it. So I want you to stay in the game because the game is eventually going to come back. It's just that simple. It's a cyclical cycle and it happens every single year. We look at it, we watch it, and there's blips and there's radars and there's ebbs and there's flows. And then finally it's going to pop back. And I'm very confident, so are most economists, that next year will be that way. And if it doesn't, that's okay. We're going to find a new way to help make sure that you reach your goals and make the revenue. Because again, every time somebody else leaves is a great opportunity because we just decreased that knowledge base from 5 to 6 on average down to 4 to 5. And as long as you're there staying in front of people, it's going to be fantastic. So, my playbook didn't load, but that's totally fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in the Facebook group. Okay. So our Team Blue Facebook group, I'm going to drop this playbook. I wrote it for you guys. It's a quick document. It's not over the top, but it's recapping all of these things for you and what you could do in order to get through this season. Okay. So I want you to look at that and say, hey, these are some opportunities that I can have in order to maintain success moving forward in the season when maybe it might be down. The game has maybe changed, but as long as we do the work, we will get through it. So a little bit of encouragement for you today. I'm going to drop that in the Facebook group today. So you as a sneak peek will be able to go get it right now today. And in the event that you missed it, I will put a link in it in This Week at Crown so that you can go download it as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to KT.
Well, first of all, does anybody have any questions, stories, pieces? Are you feeling that same thing that Brandon's been talking about? That it's a little bit of a struggle to get busy? Or with you guys being here at the LT meeting, are you guys all the ones that are busy? Are you in that 5%?
Excellent conversation, you guys.
No,
Bueller.
things are picking up. So yeah, yeah,
All right.
a normal busy. Just yeah.
Normal
Just
busy. I
normal
like
busy.
it. Okay.
Yep. We
Oh
like
yeah, like
normal busy.
yeah. I'm not really feeling the effects yet, so which is good.
That's good.
Okay. I
I've been
love
busy
to
too.
You've been busy too. I love to
Yes.
see agents getting out of the business. Because how many of you have dealt with an agent that absolutely knows nothing? There is no broker overseeing them to help them learn anything, and you're teaching them from your side. And that makes it not fun. Negotiation was my favorite part. It was my favorite part. And if I felt like I had to teach the agent on the other side, it took the joy out of my negotiation. I don't like that part. Okay, moving on. If I can share my screen somewhere. I think my problem is I have too many screens open. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, Remy, because we like Remy, we love Remy. Remy has 2 new integrations. So if you didn't see the email, it now has a video reader. So all of these videos that we are now posting on YouTube, we're uploading, and this is a long process, so bear with me, but we're uploading into Remy so we can read it all. So all of those conversations we've had about social media and how to talk to your clients and what the forms do and the pay bites that I send out. All of those will be available within Remy through their new video reader. What's really cool is that if you ask it a question about a specific training or video, it will not only give you the video, but it will also say, it looks like the question you have is answered at timestamp 4 minutes and 15 seconds. So you don't have to watch the whole video to find one piece. So that's really fun. Biggest thing is that there's now a new Canva integration with Remy. So how many of you have tried to create a flyer or a social media post on Remy and it comes up with a great beginning product, but you want to change it a little bit. You want to change just the colors or just move this picture or just do something there. I know Chris has done this a lot in the Crosby office, and Remy just doesn't quite get it. Like it gets really confused and then it redoes the whole flyer, right? Yeah. Yes. Regina just said yes. So the really fun thing now is that there is a Canva integration. So you have to link your account to your Canva account. And we have Canva through Coldwell Banker. So you don't have to pay for anything. It's all there. But in Remy, can you see this one, the BrokerBot one now? Yeah. Okay, cool. In Remy, you can ask it to do this and then ask it to drop it in Canva for you. So I just wanted to show you real quick how you do this. So I'm just going to ask it to create a quick flyer. I'm not even going to put any pictures in here, right? I'm just going to allow it to do its thing. It's going to be thinking as we like when it thinks. And then it's going to pull the information and make the actual flyer for me. And then I will ask it. It's finding all the logos. It's finding the things. And then I'll ask it to drop it into Canva. And what it'll do is it'll give me a little link that'll take me straight to my Canva account with this image. Now, what I will tell you is that it only creates images, PNGs and JPEGs, okay? So when you drop it into Canva, there is one extra step, which is why I wanted to show you, that you have to do to be able to manipulate it, okay? So look at that. Very beautiful. Navy blue tells you all the things. Okay, cool. Please drop this in Canva. and it's thinking. I will say that the thinking process of BrokerBot is getting better. It is getting faster. But there we have the edit in Canva button. You click on that. Oh, it grabbed the wrong flyer. But I can still show you what I need to do. So this flyer should have been the one that it had added to Canva, right? When it comes in here, and actually, I did a different one yesterday. When it comes in here and it's as a JPEG, you're gonna, or a PNG, you're gonna go up to this edit button and it'll open up a side and you're gonna click on magic layers. And you can do this with any single picture that you put in, okay? Is that magic layers button will then allow each of these pieces to be changeable. Okay, otherwise, right now, let's do this one. So you can see this, it just gives me the logo, right? Now, don't yell at me, Faith. Never pull apart the logo, just FYI, okay? The logo has to be a certain way. Never pull this apart. But for the sake of time, if I go to the edit button and I go to magic layers, the system will scan it and then it'll break apart the different pieces so I can change the different pieces. Okay? So link your account to Canva, ask it to drop it into Canva, and then use that edit magic layers button. See, it even pulled the C and the B part. Okay. I'm sure that is giving, I'm sure that's giving Faith anxiety there. Yeah. Yeah, there's your pretty face. So that sounds fun and amazing. Chris said that's awesome. If you want to go ahead and scan that code, that'll take you to BrokerBot's help desk, where it will actually give you a step-by-step walkthrough on how to connect your Canva account with Remy, and then what you need to do within the system. As a wonderful reminder for our Minnesota licensees, CE is due by June 15th. I hope none of you have CE to do right now. However, if you do, you need to have it done by June 15th. I know the licensing deadline is by June 30th, but if there's any problems with your CE credit being given to the state, we need time to be able to fix that, which is why we ask everybody to be done by June 15th. If any of you are non-resident licensees, so a lot of our Fargo area agents, you will have to have a certificate of licensure from your primary state when we submit for your license renewal. So make sure you get those certificates to Darcy. Okay. Hopefully everybody's done and we don't have to worry about it. All right. How many of you have been on transaction desk lately and it forces you over to transact and then you yell at it and then you say, okay, no, I want to go back to transaction desk? How many have done that? A couple times, right? Every other day. Transact will be the new system. Transaction desk will be going away. Good news. There's no sunset date yet. So they're not going to change it on us in the height of summer when we're super crazy busy, okay? But it is coming. If you want to learn the Transact system before we start teaching it, there are some classes coming up. You can scan that code and sign up for those classes if you want to. Otherwise, our plan is to make sure that our company systems are all set up throughout the summer, and then we'll start doing company training in the fall. Okay. Transaction desk is not going away yet. You can use both systems if you want to. It's different. Yeah. Has anybody switched over to transaction desk completely yet?
Almost, pretty much.
Christine has? Good. I love that. So if you ever have questions about transact, call Christine. Okay. Then on to wonderful training. So Brandon was just talking about leads, about making sure you're contacting your CRM, about how the market is not great. It's pretty level, right? We're fighting for everything we have. So June training is going to be all about your lead, contacting your leads, recontacting your leads. Stop ghosting them because those are your money makers. And 4 years ago, we didn't have to follow up with every single lead, right? Now we do. So join us next Tuesday at 9 o'clock and we will talk about that. And then what's really funny is that different segments of the market are very different right now. I'm not sure about your guys' market, but in the Park Rapids market, we are still having multiple offers. They're on very specific properties, right? But they are still there. And so we wanted to do a mastermind where you guys bring all of your ideas about how you can make your offer the best one in the pot. With financing, without financing, wanting the tractor in the garage, all those things. How can you make your offer and how can you present that offer to the listing agent in such a way where it seems better than everybody else's? Okay. So that's what we're going to do on June 17th on the Wednesday. And I want to give Faith time to be able to go through her stuff. So I'm going to run through these stats really quick. Essentially, it's the same thing that Brandon was talking about earlier. This one's super interesting. We are closest to a balanced market. We're at 2.89. Remember, balanced market is anywhere between 4 and 6, right? We are closest to a balanced market since 2017. It's been almost 10 years of being in a seller's market. And you can see it's coming. So if you're talking to your sellers who want 2021 prices, who think that their home's going to sell in one day with multiple offers, which it might if you price it right, okay? The market is climbing, which we're all seeing. Okay. I'll run through these real quick. Essentially, not much has changed. It's been the same thing. We had a late spring, so new listings are pretty flat in most of our markets. These are new listings in Park Rapids, Fargo, West Fargo, and Moorhead. You can see that Fargo number is coming down, but otherwise, we're pretty flat. West Fargo's going up, Moorhead's slightly going up for new listings. Then pendings. Pending in the Alexandria area is down. The Sauk Center area is up. These are amount of pendings by the end of May. But then the Crosby Ironton area is down. Now, I would say that this 25 mark here for the Sauk Center area is an outlier. We had 39 in 2024 and 31 in 2026, right? So I think there might be a data issue there, or maybe something very specific, maybe a really big snowstorm. I'm not sure. The Crosby office in particular is walking down their pendings. So if you feel like you're fighting an uphill battle in Crosby, this might be why. Okay. Fargo, same thing. 671 to 589. Those pendings are going down. Park Rapids seems to be pretty stable. This West Fargo pendings seem to be going up. But again, that's a really big difference. That might be a data outlier. Same thing with Moorhead. Closings, where we actually get paid. Closings in the Alexandria area are down. But good news, not as bad as 2024. So that's good. Keep in mind, we had a late spring, right? It didn't get warm until like 2 weeks ago. So that is part of all these numbers. Sauk Center is going up, Crosby's going down, right? Just slowly walking their way down there. Park Rapids went down about 10 points. And we're going to ignore this 61 number in the West Fargo area because that's definitely an outlier. 2024 was 196 for closings, and 2026 was 210. That Fargo market, West Fargo and Moorhead seem to be doing pretty good, but that Fargo market looks like it's struggling a little bit. What does all that mean? Here's your ups and downs. The Alexandria market is slightly cooling. Had a peak in 2025, and now it's slightly cooling. It's not super significant, but a little bit. Sauk Center had a really tight last year, and it's now recovering. Okay. Crosby Ironton, my Crosby people, this is what you guys need to watch, is that the market itself is softening. There's a consistent 3-year decline in new listings, pendings, and closed sales. So when you talk to your clients, particularly seller clients, that needs to be part of the conversation, because we need to be more aggressive with advertising, with pricing, with changes. Okay. Park Rapids is pretty stagnant, or just level down the line right now. Fargo, there's a broad slowdown, and it's pretty significant. However, West Fargo and Moorhead are both going up. Okay. It's nice when you live in a bigger area, so you have multiple places to be able to go put your money. Any questions about any of those? Are you guys feeling those things? Or not really? Are the numbers just telling a story that we haven't felt yet?
See, I'm definitely busier this year than I was last year at this time, so I do feel that the recovery, which is good.
Yep. Okay, good. I like that. Okay. Miss Faith, after you, my dear.
All right, I'll actually be rather quick about this, but I just wanted to mention that there are some customizable presentation pages now available in CB Canva. So these are more like local, like Crown Realtor based. So these are just kind of pre-made pages that you can plug into your own pre-existing presentations and customize as needed. Currently, there are some stuff for awards, including from the office level, team level, and your agent level. There's some market stats and other useful information. And this is just kind of a live folder. And I'm going to be completely honest, I haven't put a ton of time into designing many things for it. So please submit your ideas and we can work through designing anything that works good for your business. And if it's something that kind of would work for everyone, we can just add it to this folder and it can be available to everyone. So again, this is access through your CB Canva account specifically. So if you have access to your CB Canva account already, these pages are available to you now in a CBCR presentation pages folder. I decided I'm going to record a little walkthrough video of how to access this and how to plug it into your presentations. And then that will be available hopefully today or tomorrow at some time. But if you have not accessed your CB Canva account yet, we have some existing tutorials through our link tree that you can check out to get started. And then when you do get set up, just let me know, and then I can add you into our little Crown share group so that you can also access these presentation pages. And that's all I got. Any questions? Cool.
No. All right. Canva's fun. And we are learning as a company all about the pieces that we can put into Canva to be able to push out to you guys so you guys can then make them your own. So that's a really fun part. Mr. Brandon, you want to close this out?
Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, so as a reminder, we got the Facebook group here for you. I will post the playbook that I put together for you. Not only is it in the chat, in case you want to download it right now, but I did also, it'll go out inside of the Facebook group, so you can go grab it there. Again, it's just a quick little reminder and a little cheat sheet for you. If you are not part of the group, please go there and take care of that. If you are not on the link tree, I would strongly encourage you to get that downloaded as we continuously update that with kind of a quick launch pad, if you will. which is maybe a better name now that I think about it. Funny things you say out loud. Anyway, so it's a launch pad for all things Crown. So we keep all the quick links in there. I recommend putting it on your phone, putting it on your desktop. I know some agents actually have it as their default landing page just because of the quick connection that we do through there. So there is that also for you. The next one, I don't know what the next one is. The next one says, thank you because I love you and I care about you. In the event that you need something, by all means, please feel free to reach out. You got some great people who are here to help you and make your life a little bit easier. 9:52, so we gave back a little bit of your time. Before we fully dismiss, I guess, anybody got any questions, comments, concerns that you want to talk about?
Ashley's just over there fighting allergies, doing her thing. You're doing a good job.
Nothing. All right. Ashley, you're doing great. I wish you the best with allergies. Thankfully, mine haven't kicked in yet, but I'm waiting because I know it's coming. Anyway, all right. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you. If we can do anything, please let us know. I'm happy to help out in any capacity that I can, and I know the rest of the team feels the same way. So we love you. Go impact some lives. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.